Hello, this is Asian Movie Pulse Interviews. Today I'm here with Ismail Basbeth, whose film Sara just screened at Busan International Film Festival. How are you, Ismail?
I'm good. Thank you for asking, and thank you for having me for this interview, Panos. It's good to see you again.
Great, great. Okay, tell me a bit, how did the audience in Busan receive the film?
I think this is the first time when I release a film in a film festival, that every time I went around the venue, I met few people that stopped me just to say that the film is good for them and they quite impressed with the film. And it was, they were from a different background, some Korean lady, some person from Mongolia, and, many others from Indonesia too. This is like first experience that usually when I release a movie like a world premiere, I was always, curious on how the audience will reacting. And this is, I think, something new also for me, that I have a movie that my personal work that really resonates wider than the previous work that I worked.
Well, why do you think this happens? Why does it resonate more than the previous ones?
I think this is happened because the story was connecting more with them, like the story is urgent, and also a story about a lady who want to remind their family to make them remember who they truly are, or to make them understand who they truly are. It's really a universal stories. Many people can connect with that kind of story, but especially in this movie, the main character is also a trans woman, so it adds layers that, difficulties and challenge for the audience to follow how she really struggled to make her mother remember, not because only about her story, but also she has a previous story that she need to deal also in this hometown of her. So maybe that kind of layers, it's connect more universally than the others.
And in general, what was the inspiration behind the film? Particularly, why did you choose to have a transgender as a protagonist?
At first, I have this idea when I went to Brazil in 2018. Yeah, at that time I was quite known for my early works in films, and I've been working for about as a film director for 10 years already, and I've been involved in the film production in Indonesia and many uh, in various cities for quite some years. Then I have these feelings of loneliness, that the more I go about catching my dream, the closer I am to my dream, to be known, to have a good reputation because of my work and connect with the wider audience in the whole world, that is my dream. But the loneliest I feel I am inside myself, that every time I try to do better and better to be known in the world, with my works. But then I realized that this feeling is also getting stronger and bigger. Then I try to find out what feeling is that. So I try to look more inside myself at that time, and then I find out that this feeling is actually some kind of feeling that I understand. The closer I am to my goal, to my dreams, the longer the I separate more to my origin, to my country, to my hometown, and to my parents. And then I have an objective view to my past too. And that time, that turning point, I use it to look one more time to my previous life, the kids version of me, the teenager version of me, or young adult of me, that I want to know what is really happening with myself. That maybe the one that I want to found is actually not my dream, but me, myself, on this journey of life. And that opportunity, then I share it with my friend, with Charlie, Licha, then we talk about this story, this feeling, and then they also left their hometown to try to make their dream come true, right? So they understand this feeling too. And that time, then I do some research and everything. Then I found this young this lady from Islamic boarding school in Yogyakarta. Her name is Sintaratri. She was the one. She got award from for defending human freedom, something like that. And then she got recognized, and there's article about her and her Islamic politics school in New York Times and everything. Then I realized when I read that article, oh, it's actually for them, this is much more complicated. It's not for us, it's already complicated enough, but for them, I think because they also transform physically, not only inside of them, that their understanding of themselves, but they also transform it physically. Then I try to meet with a few friends who work with trans women or trans community. I talk with Tony Trimarsanto, the one that keep making documentaries about them, and then I met personally with Businta that make me sure that I need to make this movie. At that time I met with Businta Ratri. The story is already finished, but I didn't finish the script yet. So I was sure at that time when I met her that it should be a trans woman. Then but also there is an Islamic perspective in the story, because I came from a Orthodox Arabic descendants family with the Islamic value and everything. So I try to understand because Businta is the only trans woman at that time when she came out, like I say, she tells her parent that in this area in Jogja that is an Islam basis, the basis of Islam Kota Gede is like the area where many Islamic organization was origin formed in Jogja. And she told me that she's the only woman and she can do that because her family support her. So it's interesting, Ismail. She told me that without the support either from the society or the family, I think trans women will never really have their potential explored. They cannot have their own potential if the society doesn't accept them or doesn't support them. At least the family need to support too. So or the opposite, if the family support the society not, so they can still do something with the life. But in reality in Indonesia, the family doesn't support them and the society also doesn't. So then in this fiction version, I try to make it more moderate, the support from the family is there, but it's also not there. The support from the community is there, but at the same time, it's also not there. So it's more like a shifting cultures that actually we can talk about this. We can try to do something about this. That's why it's not really pushing her, but at the same time, it's also not pulling her. That's the movie that I try to do it with Sara.
Okay. Okay, and my question is, considering the story, the film could be, let's say, more polemic, more angry. But
Yeah.
you chose a calmer approach to what is happening. The protagonist is calm about what is happening to her. So why did you choose this approach? Why not have her, let's say, rebelling or fighting against people?
Because I as close as I am understand their feeling or their thought, this community is already struggle enough, in Indonesia. So as a guest, as a storyteller, as someone who got invited into their problem to see what is really happening, I think I need to focus more on their feeling and their thought of doing things or their point of view of life. I cannot really acting like a famous film director or a strong storyteller who has all the control in film and storytelling. I need to be more to be like a facilitator, that I can understand the more, I can feel the more, because through my film, then later they can be understood by the audience also. So the audience, the society doesn't misunderstand them anymore with my approach. Because if I do this rebelling style and everything, I watched quite a few films about that. I think if they make the movie themselves, then maybe it's fine because they have this control, right? To have their artistic expression themselves. But me, I'm let's just say a hetero man who also it's quite not true. I mean, I don't understand. agree that there is 100% hetero or 100% homo, you know. But for me, let's just say for this argument, I'm a hetero person. I have kids, I have family. I want to open up my views in the world. I want to understand more. How can I push my way of thinking to them, but I'm not letting them try to make me understand what is their problem, what is their feeling. So I need to cooperate with my own feeling. Then I try to communicate with them my own understanding of that. Then during this creation, when the last script that I want to shoot, I let I let one of the leader in the community to read it too, just to be sure that this is it okay, this script, you know, just because I don't want when I make movie, I need to be part of the solution if there is any a solution. I don't want to be part of the problem because this is a very sensitive issue in Indonesia, and I don't want to handle it too political. I want people to understand that no matter who you are, if you are human, you are born from your mother, then the story of a family struggle is always there. You can reflect through my movies, not only trans women, not only gay people or anyone's who are born from their mother. I think they can relate to the story. That's universal view of understanding feeling. That's what make them agree for me to make this movie, and I want the audience to see that value too, that we and me and you is not really different, you know, as a human.
And would you say that life for a transgender person is more difficult in a small community in rural areas than in the city?
Yeah, I think so. But during my childhood is different, Paros. Because in my childhood, yeah, I saw a lot of trans women and everything. Of course, they struggle in with life, but they're not really politically attacked, you know, or politically persecuted, you know, during my childhood. Even in some area, we have a boy, a toilet, woman toilet, and there is also slash in woman. There is a little slash sign, and then waria. Waria is wanita pria or trans woman. You know? So at that time, even the sign is also accommodating them that they can use the toilet for women. You know, but now since after the Reformation, after the Suharto era was down, the political power was spread among a lot of other organizations in Indonesia, right? But then everyone, including this Islamic hardcore Islamic movement, is also has this political power. Not only the liberal or not only the reformers, not only the moderates, all of us has this power. Then we use it in according to our own agenda or political. And at Suharto era, the only power is Suharto and his political system, right? But after the Reformation, then everything's changing. You can see them teach a lot of dance, do model stuff and everything during my childhood, you know, my upbringing. But now it's really difficult to show them in the rural area because then they need to move in the big city where they are feeling more safe. But then in the big city they don't know anyone. So many of them is also falls into a prostitute and everything because they don't have option. The family doesn't accept them. The society in the big city is really harsh. They think about themselves and everything. And this argument was originally the argument of Sinta Ratri. That's why when she told me about this situation, that's why Islamic boarding school in Jogja that she founded with her friend really need to focus to make a safe place where even though you are prostitute, even though you are ordinary, let's just say ordinary trans woman, any one of you, including hetero, because the teachers, many of them is not part of the community, but they also have the Islamic boarding school. Anyone or can make this safe place for all of us that they can do prayer, they can do fasting and everything without worry being persecuted by the society or by their family. I think this idea of Islamic boarding school is also important in what Sinta Rati made. You know, at that time she told me that we just want to go to the mosque, but we cannot because people laugh at us because they don't understand in which line we need to stand, in the woman line or the on the man line, because we believe we should stand in the woman line, but then when we walk in the man line people laugh, we stand in the woman line people laugh. That's why the first program of this Islamic boarding school was to do prayer together. Because in Islamic perspective, if we do the prayer together, the God will grant you more pahala. I don't know pahala in English, yeah, pahala like, you know, in Islam we call it pahala. I don't know in English. Like they give you more reward. They give you more reward if you do prayer together. And they are really longing to have this kind of experience, you know, praying together. In this Islamic boarding school, they can do that because all of them is trans women. So they can pray without worry. People laugh to them or to where which line they need to stand. That's why in the movie you can see it also, right? I'm playing a little bit with the line, you know. She's standing in the front or in the, that just to make sure that you know, this kind of small little thing is also confusing for them.
Okay, so I guess this question is a bit difficult, but do you think that Islam or even religion in general is a problem towards diversity?
I think God doesn't have problem, but religion has. You know, because religions was transferred to the community through human, and human can make mistake. Right? God doesn't speak with everyone or us directly, like in the form of political power, you know, because political movement is only speak through with from God through the angel, then to the prophet, right? So the only one who can make a political decision is only prophet, right? That's why in Islam also like that, and in many religions there is a certain figure that has this political power, but us ordinary people, we have no political power. But then I believe since many people acting that they have political power, then religion become more problematic, you know, because they want to influence people. They want to make people believe on what they say, not what they can't say. Because in Islam, you know, if you saw the in many verse, and then because I study also Islam because I am born from the family of Islam and I stick quite deep in Islam. Actually, when I try to read slowly and try to understand everything, all of us, including the fault one, the good one, the bad one, all of us is God creation. So God doesn't choose. We are the one who choose. Right? That's why if you ask if religion has a problem with diversity, maybe I can agree with you because religion is a political tool in a way, right? To have power to influence people. But me, myself, personally, right now, that no matter religion, no matter what are you, no matter who you are coming from, us, God also give us power to think of ours for ourselves. Like Immanuel Kant said, you know, in Sapare Aude, we need to have braveness to also think for ourselves. We don't need to try to influence other people, but we can believe what we believe. Even though I was born in a Muslim family, I learned about Islam and everything. If I don't agree with the majority of Islam decision or political decision from Islam, I don't need to follow. I let God be my only judgment because that's also Islam teaching. Whenever you have a problem with human, you should let God be the only judgment. So that's what I choose to do. That's why I don't want to appear political. That's why I like film, I like art, I like books because in the same time we can be political, but in a real life, in our works, we can be political and everything. But in real life, we don't need to be. We can be just a normal human being to try to express their thought, their feeling and everything. I try to make this kind of connection from a cultural perspective rather than from a political perspective. I think that's what I thought.
And would the film, like, would the Sara have problems with censorship in Indonesia, or is it okay?
I don't think so. I don't think so because she was legally changed her name. That's first the actor from Oscar Lawalata Asas Maradona, meaning the Indonesian court system make them available. Yeah, they can do that. They can do that, change completely. Yeah, their identity in court. That's first one. And second one is we got this Indonesian, some kind of Indonesian Oscar. We call it Festival Film Indonesia. And our actress just got the announcement last 2 days. I think that the main actress and the supporting actress got nomination for the award.
Congratulations.
So and Sara, the lady, thank you. And Sara Asa is the first trans woman to get this nomination in this festival film that owned by the government. It was government festival film, right? Organized by the government. That's the second time. I think, of course, if we talk about public, there will be many pressures, you know, agree or not agree and everything. But I'm not focusing on the public. I'm focusing more on the political tools. The third one is we are now much more open as a country. Our government, our bureaucratic system is much more open with this young new movement of thinking that we should not be close-minded people, so we need to explore more or other possibilities to live our life together, because Indonesia have a lot of cultures, a lot of languages. So if the main government, the central government, doesn't open up their way to think about many other possibilities for alternatives, then the other government in the smaller area or the smaller district, they will do the same, right? That's why they try to do this example by supporting Sara also to have this trip to Busan, right? So they try to support this film also. The Ministry of Education and Culture try to support our film from the very beginning. Maybe because they also need this to show the world and to show the people in Indonesia that we should not be afraid to the unknown, because everything that was unknown before, now there is so many explanation outside there. The access is not there. That's why the ministry is now actively try to make this access open to the public so that they can learn something new and learn about new perspective too.
And tell me a bit about, I found the romantic aspect of the film very interesting, because, okay, there is something going on between the protagonist and Ayu, right? But then,
Yes.
as the protagonist pretends to be her mother's husband, there is also another romantic element there, essentially. So how did you come with this approach?
I don't know, it just happened when I write it. You know? But for Ayu, I think the reason is more like I try to explore this identity is actually not only appearance, you know. Yeah, Ayu see Sarah from her heart, right? Sarah see her mother from her heart too. But then we've got this political, our body is more like a war, you know. Many people try to conquer us, you know, like for boys doesn't use pink or women doesn't use short and everything, you know. It's like a medium, a platform of war, of understandings, you know. That's why I try to play around with that, you know, with a uh, very simple things that is already connect with us, but I want to show the audience that without her, you cannot see anything. I just want to say that if you always see everything with your eyes, you listen only with your ears, then you will not listen the true meaning of life. You will not see true meaning. And but then telling that to the audience or telling that with the writing only maybe is quite difficult for young audiences or young readers, right? That's why then using this medium is a perfect medium to play around, you know, with the costume and everything that very little things. Then we can optimizing this medium film as a storytelling tools that really can with a very minimum effort, we can show a bigger impact on the audience. I think that's the trick, you know. But the original reason why I just want to say you should see and hear with your heart, you know, not. You don't need to believe your ears or eyes too much. You need to use heart too to understand things.
And tell me a bit how the casting worked for the film.
The casting was really simple. At first, I was inviting when me, Lisa, and Charlie agreed to make this movie. We tried to find a good production designer. This production designer was living in the same city like us. His name is Ong Hari Wahyu. I like to work with him because he can give us this, you know, perspective that we young people sometimes miss, you know, so including the casting. You know. So he told me that at that time that Ismail, this story is a very important story for the Indonesian. So you cannot cast only popular people, or if it's a popular person, then you need to do it. You need to pick the face, that's what he say, so that the face is the face, or the attitude is the attitude of many common people. So they understand that the story can happen with them, not with this famous person only. At that time, then I know that I want to cast Christine Hakim, for the mother, and Yayang Sinur as the Ayu mother. But at that time, that's it. I just thinking about that. Then we try to look for these candidates. It takes about 2 years on and off that we finally found Asa, because Christine Hakim was suggesting us, do you think, at that time, Christine Hakim is already joining, and do you think Asa will be a fine candidate? But at that time, we don't know her yet. So Lija tried to find a connection, to find her mother, and then we talk. And once she agreed in Jakarta, after 1 year, I think after 1 year we tried, she agreed to participate the casting. We miss Ayu part. When we miss Ayu part, we don't do casting, right? So I shoot this I shoot this series for Disney, and there is a person, Miantira, who play as one of the mother of the character. And when I saw her in the first day, in set, I just saw Ayu, so I take a picture and I send it to Lija and Charlie. I think this is our Ayu. What do you think? So it just came very organically. We don't really do open casting and everything. We just discuss among our team, including our friend cast and our production designer and producer. That's the process. When we have Ayu, Christine Hakim, we have Miantiara, Asa, Christine Hakim, and Jayang Sino. Then we need this main character, right? Ustadz Said. Then we think about our old friend, in Jogja, that is very good actor, but he also a directors in theaters, performances, and everything. And we have opportunity to work with him at the project before, but I never directing him. So I try to talk with him. I try to inviting him to join, so that the idea of the casting is like this. So you guys will all look like a common people, not popular people, even though they are all actually popular in a different area, in the different field. Yeah, like Miantiara is a very good musician. Asa is fashion designer. Christine Hakim, of course, in movie and is popular, but they look like common people. They can act like a real people, and that's what we give with this casting process.
And what about the cinematography? What you wanted to do in the visual aspect of the film?
Yeah, in the cinematography, I shot this short film, Shelter. It's only one shot. This movie in 2010, I shot it, but I released it in 2011. In 2011, I got selected for Sonji Award in Busan, and I got accepted to Asian Film Academy also at that time. And the cinematographer of that movie was, after shooting with me, he leaves film production and he teach in the university, my university. So I saw him as a very big figure during my time learning about movies. He's just my senior. He's more my mentor. But when we hear that he doesn't shoot more movie because he's busy with his university life, I try to connect with him. 6 years after that, I produced a short film with a new director. I try to invite him. So he said yes. Only two movie, short film, both of them. Then during this process, my original DP got a mixed schedule, so he cannot join the production, and he told us that, Ismail, it's so easy to work with you. Any DP can work with you, right? But you like to talk about personal stuff on your movie. I think whoever who changed my position need to be your friend too, just like me, not only your DP. So we think, yeah, that's actually a good point, because this film is also sensitive. We need to have a DP that also our friends, not only a filmmakers, right? And then Charlie, at that time, one of our producers said, Ismail, from all of your movie, there is only one DP that I keep remember what he made for your film. It's this DP. But at that time, oh, really, if he want to join, this is his first feature film, right? If he wants to join, it's really good. But how we can invite him to join because he has this schedule with university and everything. But then we invite them more because Charlie and Lija believe that if you need a DP friend, then your mentor, Bhuti, is the right person. And then we try to communicate with him, we try to talk with him. At first, he was reluctant because he feels that maybe he's not the right person and everything, because he was not taking care of his career as a DP, but he's just focused teaching. But then when he say yes, all of the other chief and head of department is already know him, right? Because he's quite a popular guy in Jogja, but not known in Indonesia, you know. But then when we talk, when everything, he feel more confident because everyone respect his decision and everything, you know, like a professional DP, you know, like a real DP. So when he's confident and everything, then I start to talk about the approach that I want to have in the movie once he's become okay. And then we found this 4x3, you know, even he told me that there is a Academy 4x3 and European 4x3. I don't even know about that, you know, he's the one who explained me. There is some 4x3 that has a wider right and left a little bit. There is a square, like correct square, like a Wes Anderson square, you know. And then at that time, he explained to me the effect of that, and we do this test and everything because I want the audience to see human standing in the movie, even though when they are sleep or sit. When we use this 4x3, we will focus only with the man or woman that inside the frame, right? So very limited point of view or background. So then he decided to use this 4x3 that has a little bit wider on left or side. I forgot which one is this, the Academy one or the European one. I don't remember, but the one that has a little bit wider space. And this is the one that we shoot. And then we just do it. We just follow our feeling. We talk with our audience. We talk with our cast. We talk with all the other TP, all the other heads. When we shoot a movie, when one shot is enough, we do only one shot. When we need cover, we do cover. It's very organic way of making film that we think and we feels in the production days together with the others. So it can be more organic, not like a hierarchy question of the director only. That's
Okay. And tell me a bit, how is the situation in the Indonesian movie industry at the moment? You're also a producer, right? So you know things, direct. So tell me a bit about it.
I think now Indonesian film industry, especially before the pandemic, is like rumbling. You know, we are everywhere, right? After 2015, many big film festival got us, you know, Indonesia, but it's never really a lot of people, but we are there. At least we still have a few filmmakers that got selected in big film festival. But locally, we also improving a lot. Like many audience, like 6 million people. 10 million people, you know, like big film company growing with the audience like crazy. But then pandemic happened, right? And everything's changing. And OTT plays a very important rules right now in the main industry in Indonesia. But then for independence, we almost has no options. But then I believe that if we can collaborate, we can invite many others, medium or small player to work together. Maybe then we can have a chance. That's what I did, you know. That I collaborate with Visionary Capital, with Ismail Basbeth, you know, and his foundation, you know, small company, not too big company. We collaborate so that we can still talk about our vision and everything. But if we work with the too big of a company in Indonesia, maybe they will look at us like the weird one, like the one who never follow the system or doesn't care about audience, you know. That's why I try to encourage more and more of my colleagues, producers, that we should collaborate between medium and small company, that we can share responsibility, you know, money and investment and everything, so that we can keep doing this independent or alternative stories or alternative films in Indonesia too. That because the main industry is growing, I believe that the independent or the alternative also can grow together with them. Like in Jogja, for example, 10 years ago, we shoot everything with only amateurs. But now, new filmmakers in Jogja, they shoot with professional already. So it's affecting the whole ecosystem already, because what we do in the past, it's affecting the next generation and everything, and then they keep changing, so they will not facing the same problem with us, but they will facing their own problem, like escalating bit by bit. So that in Jogja, for example, it's a city that's famous for art and cultures, but now when we shoot film here, they are all professional. Even when you do music gig and everything, they are look very professional with the camera and everything. And all these young person, they knows very well with this digital camera, so they can work. So many new talents, many artists. But then again, we need more producers, right? To facilitating this talent with the right project, with the right film, that they can also grow, not only consumed by the industry or work for the industry, but they also can grow with their talent, with their possibilities in the futures. I believe that if we can use this opportunity, especially with this support with the government in Busan, you can see many Indonesian delegation. That's the first time I saw during my travel in international gig, for the last 12 years. This is the first time I go to film festival. I almost never speak English. I speak Indonesian everywhere because I keep meeting with Indonesians. So this opportunity is also good that we can use it to live, to go up and upscaling our skills and opportunities with the wider world, with the international productions too.
Okay. And tell me, last question, I guess, what are you working on next, future projects?
Yeah, I'm working with Lija on my next future, but maybe not too soon. I've done the writing already, actually, before Sara got released. But then we have these possibilities to work with the international co-production. We've got in Busan also some producer that interested, to with the film. But then I realized with this international co-production, it takes longer than, usual. In Indonesia, when you collaborate, it's like 1 year, 2 year, we can shoot the film. But in international co-production, we want to see more possibilities, because I want also my works to grow more, and not only known by little film by Ismail Basbeth all the time, always, every time I make little film. I want to be known for good filmmaker from Indonesia, not good independent filmmaker from Indonesia. So then I need to make sure that the distribution part and everything is also got secured, and everything. That's why I told Licha after Busan that, Licha, I think we don't need to hurry. I know I need to shoot this movie, but then now I follow your lead. Because if you can connect me to more possibilities to grow to grow the movies or to work with more people, then maybe I can wait for 1 or 2 years just to shoot the movie. We'll see. We'll see. I think I can tell you more later.
Okay, I understand. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.